Get ready to hear the truth about America on a show that's not immune to the facts with your host, Dan Bongino.
Okie dokie, today's going to be one of those shows. Just don't go anywhere. That's all I'm saying. Because I got a lot to say today. Because today, if you don't have dark mode Dan ready to go today, everyone's fired, which they know is ridiculous because I have no options right now, so I actually can't fire her. But still, no more show. If they don't get dark mode Dan ready. Because I'm so done with reply guys and Twitter experts. I can't even tell. I'm fucking done with it. Pardon my language. Done. I'm done with it. We served a search warrant on a former president with guns and but it was a stand up. Yeah, sure. Okay. Good advice. You guys are, nice job. Thank God I had my blackout coffee today. Folks, stop giving your money to companies don't care about you. Visit blackoutcoffee.com/Bongino. Use coupon code Bongino for 20% off your first order. I got that. I've got a lot to get to. Folks, obviously, this is about the revelation of the op plan getting out yesterday for the raid for Mar-a-Lago. Yes, the op plan seems to be a standard FBI op plan. That's not the point. Okay, it's not a standard operation. I'm going to go through this in detail today. I don't want to hear anybody's bullshit because I don't know anyone out there in the conservative content space that actually served search warrants, taught search warrants, and did presidential protection. It's not a flex. It's just true. Everyone else did one of those three things. They didn't do all of them. For 10 years, Patriot Mobile has been America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When I say only, trust me, they're the only one. Patriot Mobile is a proud supporter of the show. I'm proud to partner with them. Patriot Mobile offers dependable nationwide coverage, giving you the ability to access all three major networks. Means you get the same coverage you've been accustomed to without funding the left. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, your sporting company believes in free speech, religious freedom, the sanctity of life, Second Amendment, and our military, veteran, and first responder heroes. Their 100% U.S.-based customer service team makes switching easy. Keep your number, keep your phone, or upgrade. Their team will help you find the best plan for your needs. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Dan or call 972-PATRIOT. Get a free month when you use the offer code Dan. Join me and make the switch today. patriotmobile.com/Dan. That's patriotmobile.com/Dan or call 972-PATRIOT. Justin, are you man on the content? Look at you on the bell, ready to go, rock and roll. Okay, so folks, here's what this is about. Let's get right to the elements of the show first. The great Julie Kelly, who is really a patriot and a hero to the movement at this point, one of the few honest journalists left. She's been doing yeoman's work on January 6th, the bomber case, her and Darren Beattie and others. They got their hands on some paperwork yesterday, and it was an ops plan. And yes, the ops plan seems pretty standard from the FBI. That's not in question. But in the ops plan for the search warrant served at Mar-a-Lago, of course, Trump's residence, they note, according to this paperwork, that law enforcement officers of the Department of Justice may use deadly force when necessary when looking at the ops plan. Now, we'll get to that in a second. I just want you to read it on the screen so you don't think I'm making any of this up. Also, they had to address potential conflicts with the Secret Service, you'll see in the next slide, and also the former president where they'd come into contact with him, i.e. Donald Trump, if he were to arrive because he wasn't at Mar-a-Lago when it went down. Okay, let's just get that out of the way. Now, immediately, the Twitter reply guys and the so-called experts had to jump in. This is a nothing burger. This is no big deal. And let me just say, fellas, ladies, this isn't personal. You can do whatever you want. I do what I want. We don't have to agree on everything. I'm just telling you, if you believe that, you're freaking crazy and you need to seek a new line of work. I'm going to say again, this is not a flex. I'm pretty sure I'm the only guy in the space who did, pretty sure. If there's another one out there, tell me, who actually taught this stuff in the training center, served multiple and wrote multiple search warrants up with AUSAs, and in fact protected the president and former presidents. If there's anyone else out there doing it, let me know. Because I was dealing with this one D-bag lawyer this morning on Twitter who seems to think because he wrote a few search warrants once or twice, all of a sudden he's an executive protection guy, a tactical guy, a protocol guy. The guy didn't even know I was a police officer before. He thought I was a Capitol police officer. So I'm kind of done with morons today. Now, here's the one. Let me give you my take first. Folks, this is a total, absolute failure of our government. The government works for you. I said this when it happened. Guy was there. This is nothing new that the FBI decided to bring guns into Mar-a-Lago to serve a search warrant. It was an abomination. None of this should even be relitigated. The fact that the ops plan made it out only makes me relitigate this again, okay? That's why. This is a failure of the Secret Service management, number one. Number two, an absolute catastrophic failure of the now gutless management of the FBI and the Department of Justice. This was not a standard raid. It was an unprecedented raid on a Secret Service protected compound on a former president who was running for president or known to be running for president again. These people in the government work for us. They don't have Avenger-like powers. They have powers we grant to them through the Constitution and the United States Code because we operate on consent of the governed. They are not allowed to do whatever they want, whenever they want. And any lawyer, and I use lawyer in air quotes because these people are like Wikipedia lawyers. They don't know shit about anything. Any lawyer on Twitter, agent or anything else, suggesting to you that, oh, listen, this was just a standard black and white thing, immediately unfollow. They have no idea what they're talking about. Folks, there is nothing about this that was standard. The entire United States government, when it comes to blue on blue, force situations, Congress people, senators, the president of the United States operates in a gray area that's constantly litigated. Anyone telling you it's a standard plan, and this was a standard ops plan to discuss use of force options at freaking Mar-a-Lago with the former president, I'm sorry, is a freaking moron. And you should never listen to anything they say again. I am not kidding. This was not SOP. Question number one. As I said when it happened, so this is nothing new. Why was force even considered at all on this raid? Why? Oh, the FBI has to carry guns to protect themselves. Really? They do? Let me tell you a little story for the morons who will tell you that. They do. FBI agents, I don't recommend you do this at all, but go on a White House tour. Carry your gun with you. What's going to happen? Okay, you're not going to be allowed in. How do I know that? My brother was a Secret Service agent. And one time we were down in D.C. and they were having a South Grounds Gardens tour. So I had my White House pass. I walked up and said, hey, can me and my brother come in and take a look? My brother was not on the protective detail. My brother was a Secret Service agent in the New York field office. I want you to listen to what I just told you. The uniform division guy couldn't have been nicer. He said, hey, your brother's got to leave his gun out here. He was a Secret Service agent. Why? Is that the law? Is that SOP? No. It's just there's guns inside the White House there to protect the White House, and they don't want unknowns in there like other guns in there, and they don't know who has them, why they have them, and they don't want anything to break bad or an accidental discharge. Now you may say, well, Dan, that's a disingenuous example. That's not the course of official duties. What if the FBI wanted to serve a search warrant in the White House for the cocaine? Oh, you mean the same White House protected under the same 1752 code that they protect Secret Service facilities? Do you really believe if the FBI today went to walk into the White House to serve a search warrant about the cocaine and said, hey, it's our job, we're investigating political corruption, you believe the Secret Service would have let him in with the guns? If you do, you're a freaking moron. But it's their official duties. Yeah. And we still wouldn't let him in. So why would they let in Mar-a-Lago with guns? Which created such a situation that the FBI had to do their ops plan addressing the use of force because it was a standard operating procedure. Freaking morons tell you this. Morons and dumbasses. Folks, gray areas exist in government all the time when it comes to situations like this. Don't be stupid. I'll give you an example. When Hunter Biden was going to be interviewed, Hunter Biden has a protective detail. You can see from the New York Post article. I'm sorry to go out of order on you guys, but it's important. Put it up. When Hunter Biden was interviewed, what happened? The Secret Service detail was given a heads up. So a bunch of people with guns didn't show up and create an unnecessary problem. Ex-FBI agent upset by a Hunter Biden probe tip-off to Biden transition team. Let me give you another example about how when there's blue on blue FBI versus Secret Service, this stuff is all ironed out in advance and we don't create dumbass situations like an ops plan addressing how to engage with the former president if he shows up with a protective detail with freaking guns. Larry Cockle, you know who that is? He was a special agent in charge of Bill Clinton's detail when Bill Clinton was getting if you know what I mean, in the Oval Office. There was a big to-do that made it all the way up to the Supreme Court if the Secret Service could be forced to testify about what Bill Clinton was up to. Why? Lawyer guy out there and other agents out there who all know everything. It's just a standard thing. These are federal agents. If they witnessed a crime, they got to go talk about it. Why was it litigated up to the Supreme Court? Oh, because it's a gray area, dipshits. Because the Secret Service was afraid at the time that if they were forced to testify about what Bill Clinton was up to, that the protectees, Clinton and others, would try to avoid the Secret Service and create a dangerous situation because it's a fucking gray area, morons. Pardon my language. You're telling me this isn't a gray area? The first raid on a presidential compound in U.S. history by the FBI? And it was just a standard ops plan where, yeah, we should just casually address if we have to kill someone? No, it was not an assassination plot. No, I don't believe anyone went in there with the intent to kill anyone. They would have done it. There's no reason for that. They would have done it any other way. I don't believe that at all. The whole point is the whole damn thing was unnecessary. And anybody justifying this obvious fuck up has no idea what they're talking about, and his opinion should be absolutely disregarded. This is a big deal. I want you to read 18 U.S.C. 1752. This authorizes the Secret Service to restrict access to buildings or grounds like Mar-a-Lago against anyone who engages in acts of physical violence against any person or property on restricted buildings or grounds. Physical violence. What if it got rough in there? It didn't have to get rough in there. This could have been ironed out in advance. What the hell was the Secret Service management thinking letting the FBI in there with guns? It was a protected facility. You didn't think there was a potential for something to go bad? Are you freaking stupid? The FBI authorizing this? The DOJ? Folks, we've already talked about this. I cannot believe there are people defending this shit. Here, 1752 again. Here's what restricted buildings or grounds means. Any posted, cordoned off, or otherwise restricted area of the White House or its grounds, the VP's office or its grounds, or a building or grounds where the president or other persons protected by this Secret Service is or will be temporarily visiting, i.e. Mar-a-Lago. So I'd like to see the Twitter lawyers out there and experts, fucking dumbasses, morons. I'd like to see them argue this. I'm going to show up tomorrow at making a citizen's arrest at the White House on the cocaine case if I can produce evidence. No, I'm going to walk in. It's the law. It says it in the Constitution. I'm allowed to go in there. It's a citizen's arrest. You think the FBI is going to walk in there tomorrow if they have evidence that some member of the Biden team was dealing coke out of the White House? You think the DEA is just going to walk in and serve? It's just standard operating procedure. We'll just fill out the paperwork. No one in the FBI thought that this paperwork would become public and discoverable and that there was a line in there about engagement. And engagement doesn't mean shooting it out with them. Engagement means simply that. A back and forth. But nobody thought that this could create a potential problem addressing what an unnecessary use of force would look like at Mar-a-Lago in a situation the FBI created. Nobody thinks this is unusual. Just to be clear, you think this is just SOP, fill out the paperwork and it's all going to go? Come on, man. Come on, I expect more out of you people. Not you listening. I just all night with this bullshit. Oh, this is just the rules, man. The rule. Really, it's the rules. Interesting. Justin, cue up Jim Comey for me. It's just the FBI rules? So it's just SOP. They're just doing what they had to do, and we should all let this go. Really? That's interesting because this was actually addressed once by Jim Comey, another FBI piece of garbage at the management level. Guy used to be the director of the FBI. It's funny how they only want to bend the rules and SOP when they think they can do police state stuff. Remember when they went to go interview Mike Flynn? There was standard operating procedure for that too. Matter of fact, in this clip, Jim Comey actually talks about it. And then you know what he says? Yeah, but we screwed all that. I said, forget it and just did what I wanted to do anyway. Oh, so they bend the rules there. But not when it's the former pro. It's the rules, man. It's the rules. You realize what a dumbass you sound like defending this? Play the cut.
Administration, the FBI wanted to send agents into the White House itself to interview a senior official. You would work through the White House counsel, and there'd be discussions and approvals and who would be there. And I thought it's early enough. Let's just send a couple guys over.
But that's a... Hey, Justin, does that sound like the rules? You think that's written in the FBI dialogue and manual? It's early enough. Go ahead and send some guys. You think that's... Justin, it sounds like it does. It sounds like formal writing, legal procedures. I thought it was the rules. Right? The Hunter Biden notification, giving them a, quote, heads up. Is that the rules too? Folks, I got news for you. If the Secret Service wants to stop people from coming in a facility with firearms, even pursuing a lawful search warrant, they have every authority to do it. They just chose not to. But I guarantee you, that if you show up at the White House tomorrow as a DC Metro cop again, investigating the cocaine case, with your firearm and vest on and your badge out and say, I'm serving a lawful search warrant, you'll be sitting outside that gate no one's letting you in. Weird. It's the same authority they had to keep armed FBI agents out of Mar-a-Lago. Armed FBI. They could have let the FBI in. They could have said what they say at the White House. You guys come in. We're going to work this out with legal counsel. But you're going to leave your guns right here. This is a federally protected facility. It's so strange. You know, when I used to go to court, when I'd bring a guy in for processing, the U.S. Marshals make you lock up your gun. They do? Why? Why? It's with the law. You're allowed to carry your gun. It says it on my commission book, carry firearms. Because these things are all gray areas where we use professional discretion and we're not numbnuts. The Attorney General and the FBI fill out a bunch of SOP paperwork acknowledging that use of force could potentially happen as a CYA mechanism, never realizing it's going to be discoverable, and nobody thinks this is messed up? Holy shit, man. I've told you over and over. It's not the left I worry about. It's the reply guys who pretend to be on our side, just looking for an opportunity for Twitter engagement, and all they do is say dumb shit. It's just paperwork. Oh, yeah, it's just paperwork. Paperwork. Like I said, go try it. Same guys, go try it. Go get a search warrant and walk into the White House. Watch, same exact authority. Watch what happens. They will shut you right down. But when it's Donald Trump, the rules don't apply. And you get people pretending they're on our side. Oh, no, it's just paperwork. It's paperwork. What makes this even worse? Merrick Garland, who, by the way, didn't want to do squat about the Unabomber. Oh, really? No, that's not me. I'll listen to someone else. It's not me saying it. Was really eager to have the FBI, storm in Mar-a-Lago with their weapons, and he personally authorized it himself. We'll get to that in a second. Let me take a break here. I'm shockingly good mood. I know it doesn't sound it, but folks, I am telling you, please, I'm begging you as your friend. Unfollow these idiots today. So many people showed their asses last night. It is unreal. Julie Kelly exposes a bombshell about potential blue-on-blue conflicts. The FBI knew about it in advance, just treated this like it was a standard thing. And who did she get hit by? It's not the left. You expect that. They're a bunch of commies. People pretending to be on our side. Eliminate these people from your life immediately. One, on stupidity, and two, could be even worse. Folks, AmericanFinancing.net. In today's economic climate, many of us find ourselves facing the challenge of managing our monthly expenses. And high credit card interest rates can trap you in a cycle of debt with balances that persist month after month after month. Paying only the minimum each month means it could take years to become debt-free. So reach out to American Financing. They're a trusted partner in helping people achieve financial freedom. If you're a homeowner, they can tap into your home's equity and help you eliminate high-interest credit card debt. On average, their customers save $854 a month, equivalent to receiving a $10,000 annual raise. The process is straightforward and quick. You could close your loan in as little as 10 days, and by acting today, You might not have to pay your next mortgage payment. It costs nothing to see how much you can save. This opportunity to regain control of your finances is too significant to ignore. Call today, 888-994-7660. That's 888-994-7660. Or visit AmericanFinancing.net. It's a .net address, AmericanFinancing.net, NMLS 122334, NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Let me just restate what I said in the beginning before we get on to Garland, showing you how folks, the point I'm trying to make should be obvious at this point. This was totally unnecessary. There was nothing standard about this. The FBI and Donald Trump and the Secret Service were already working out an exchange of the documents. There was zero reason to create an unnecessary, even 1 in 1,000 chance of a blue-on-blue situation with firearms. The FBI, DOJ, and management of the Secret Service effed this thing up royally. Now you see the paperwork out there. And if the only response you have is, well, we just handled it like it was a normal operation, you're an idiot. I'm really sorry, but you're a moron. It has literally never happened in American history. Acting like everything's black and white paperwork. Please stop. Please stop. You just sound dumb. And attacking people over it is even more ridiculous. And I'm telling you right now, if they went in there tomorrow, guns ablazing in the White House and caused another situation with cop on cop, blue on blue, I'd say the same thing if it was Obama or Biden. So I don't need any lectures from anyone about this whole thing. Tired of these fucking reply guys, man. It's all they do. Stir shit up. Waste everybody's time. Folks, what makes this thing even worse is Derek Farland, our attorney general in name only, otherwise known as Merrick Garland, approved the whole thing. He understood this was going to create a weapon-on-weapon, blue-on-blue situation where, granted, I don't think anybody was going to start firing at each other. The point is it was totally unnecessary. And he approved it himself. How do I know? Because he said it. Take a look.
There are, however, certain points I want you to know. First, I personally approved the decision to seek a search warrant in this matter. Second, the department does not take such a decision lightly.
How do I know Derek Garland approved the warrant? Because he said so. There was no reason for this. They're just embarrassed now, the FBI, that they got caught filling out a briefing on, hey, what do we do if we got to shoot someone? And their only excuses, we brief that all the time to CYA. Oh, you do? Shit. You believe this, man? Here's a former FBI agent. This hits from a little while ago, Terry Turchi, talking about Merrick Garland. In case you think like, oh, Merrick Garland just does this all the time. He approves search warrants. No, when it comes to the Unabomber, this is the guy who worked the case. Apparently, Merrick Garland for that case, Donald Trump go in there with the guns, folks. Forget about the Secret Service and all. Forget about the fact that something could have broke bad, could have been an accidental discharge. Doesn't matter. Forget all of that. The Unabomber, let me think this through. Listen to this.
And I've never said this publicly, but I'll just tell you right now because it just sickens me to watch and listen to Merrick Garland. Because Merrick Garland was in charge of the prosecution at DOJ of the Unabomber. And I have to tell you something. He would not recommend to the AG that our search warrant to get into Theodore Kaczynski's cabin be approved. He and his group of attorneys had us working till 2 or 3 in the morning of April 3rd. And finally, the AG, Janet Reno, along with Louis Freeh, they stepped in. They approved the search warrant anyway. Now, that was a case where we had bombs on airplanes. We had threats to blow up airplanes in midair. We had people killed with bombs for 18 years. He wouldn't do anything. He would not recommend to the AG that we get into that cabin on April 3rd. He didn't see the urgency then, and he didn't seem to care about agents being up all night trying to get ready for that. But on this is how he handles this?
Folks, it's not me saying it. I didn't work the Unabomber case. I don't know anything about it. That's the FBI agent who did it. Garland's like, we got to use our professional discretion, about the Unabomber. Trump, go in there. Go in there with guns. And matter of fact, just fill out the paperwork in case we got to get into a shootout. I mean, I'm really having a hard time with this because I kind of do my own thing. One of the things that's nice about being in my own studio, away from corporate masters and everything like that, is I don't need anybody's bullshit anymore. And folks, I've been warning you for a long time. The snake is in the tent. We got people on our side. All they want is an engagement farm. That's all they want. I don't know if it's for the money or the attention. And all they do is they like reply bros and they want to say dumb shit. None of this is normal. None of this. Here's Josh Hawley questioning Merrick Garland. Now, this is an important cut. Again, in case you think any of this was in fact normal, here's Merrick Garland and Josh Hawley going, hey, did you overrule the FBI? Because apparently there was some sane person in the FBI who was like, this is a really stupid idea, us going in there. And Garland apparently thought, let's do it anyway. Just fill out the paperwork. Take a look.
Attorney General Garland, you said in our last exchange that it's your practice to defer to FBI agents in the field when it comes to investigations, apprehensions of subjects. I was interested, given your answer, to read in this morning's Washington Post that the FBI is saying that you overruled them when it came to raiding ex-President Trump's personal residence. Washington Post reports this morning, showdown before the raid, that senior FBI officials who would be in charge of leading the search resisted doing so as too combative and proposed instead to seek Trump's permission to search his property. These field agents wanted to shutter the criminal investigation altogether in early June, the Post reports, but they were overruled by Maine DOJ. So I guess in light of your earlier testimony just this morning, my question is, how often do you overrule FBI field agents for political purposes?
Again, it's stunning that the reply bros don't even realize that people within the FBI, according to Hawley, who I trust, thought this was a really freaking stupid idea. These were active FBI guys. Apparently, some sane person told them this is really dumb. Maybe we should think like adults and not just go, it's the paperwork. If we have to kill someone, we got to do the CYA paperwork. What? Are you freaking stupid? Of course, here's Snake Garland's answer. There's about a minute of it. And then he basically admits it at the end, like, yeah, he was the central figure in this whole thing, as if we don't live in a police state right now. Take a look at this.
Senior FBI officials who would be in charge of leading the search resisted the plan as too combative and proposed instead to seek Trump's permission to seek his property, according to 4 people who spoke on condition of anonymity to describe a sensitive investigation, end quote.
Again, I have to say I'm not able to describe the investigation. I will say as a general matter and at a high level of generality, that in my experience, long experience as a prosecutor, there is often a robust discussion, and in the end, and it's encouraged among investigators and prosecutors.
Attorney General, my time is very
made.
Yes, and you made the decision.
I did. That's
right. You said you did.
No, I'm sorry. What I said was I approved the decision.
So
you see how shady and snaky they are? I made the decision. No, I approved the decision. What I don't understand again is reply guys and lawyers out there who pretend to be part of our team. The left that hates us, the police state, is clearly uncomfortable with this. Garland admits it, unadmits it. I approved it. I didn't approve it. I said it. I didn't say it. I okayed it, whatever. None of them are okay, but you're okay with it. Garland's not. Garland knows they fucked up, but you're okay. No, I'm a lawyer. Really? And by the way, the White House clearly pressured Garland into this. How do we know this? Because they've been doing it for the media forever. New York Times, officials in the Biden White House have long expressed private consternation with Mr. Garland's pace. Private in the New York Times. You don't think Biden's team put him up to this? This isn't a scandal to you? Stay tuned. I'm going to take a break. And again, if everybody's so comfortable with this, lawyers, agents, and others, and you think this is just A-okay and whoosh, don't get sucked in, as if I get sucked into anything, which is freaking hilarious. I have the Bongino rule for a reason. If everybody was so cool with this and the Biden team and everything's just SOP, why is everybody running from it? Wait till I show you this video next. Karine Jean-Pierre. Oh, yeah, we didn't know anything about it. Oh, yeah, sure. Christopher Wray. Oh, man, I don't want to talk about this. Why is everybody so shady? You're seemingly confident about it. Why is everyone who did it so shady if it's just SOP? Why does the FBI themselves have people like, this is a stupid idea? Snakes in the tent, man. I'm telling you. You having trouble sleeping or staying asleep? Listen, I've been there. It's not just about feeling tired the next day. It's about the toll poor sleep can take on every aspect of your life. But guess what? There's hope on the horizon. Comes in the form of Beam's Dream Powder. This stuff's been a game changer for me. See, when we're sleeping well, we can be sharper, more focused, and ready to tackle whatever life throws our way. Today, my listeners get a special discount on my favorite, Beam's Dream Powder. Use it about 3-4 nights a week. They're science-backed hot cocoa for sleep with no added sugar. Better sleep has never tasted better. Other sleep aids can cause the next day grogginess, but Dream contains a powerful, all-natural blend of reishi, magnesium, L-theanine, apigenin, and melatonin to help you fall asleep, stay asleep, and wake up refreshed. Want to try it? Their best-selling Dream Powder can now get up to 45% off for a limited time with their biggest sale of the year for Memorial Day. Exclusive for Bongino listeners only. When you go to shopbeam, BEAM.com/Bongino and use code Bongino at checkout. That's shopbeam.com/Bongino. Use code Bongino for up to 45% off. Our last sponsor today, Omaha Steaks. Father's Day's right around the corner. What do you give to the man who has everything? Some delicious steaks. Give him Omaha Steaks. Give me Omaha Steaks to my daughters. The Father's Day experts at Omaha Steaks have made it easy to put a smile on the big guy's face this summer with hand-selected gift packages starting at just $89. Just go to omahasteaks.com. Use promo code Bongino at checkout for an additional discount when you shop gourmet gift packages for Father's Day. Justin, pick this up for your dad. Justin's dad's a cool guy. With Omaha Steaks, the possibilities are endless. Endless flavor, endless variety, and endless value. They have perfected more than steak. Your dad is guaranteed to love every bite. Pick from premium proteins like the juicy pork chops, air-chilled chicken, and beefy burgers. I'm hungry already. Go to omahasteaks.com. Use promo code Bongino to get exclusive savings. Shop for an unforgettable gift that are guaranteed to make Dad's day. But if there's one thing Omaha Steaks knows, it's dads want steak. It's that simple. It's omahasteaks.com. Promo code Bongino at checkout to save on exclusive packages starting at just $89. Thanks, Omaha Steaks. We appreciate it. So, I'm going to say again, if everyone out there is so proud of this and thinks this is just SOP, we should address an unnecessary use of force situation we created by carrying guns onto a federally protected Secret Service compound that would never be allowed anywhere else if it was a Democrat. Sure, no problem. Why is Karine Jean-Pierre then unquestionably smoking up the public about it when she was asked about this exact thing? Oh, yeah, we didn't know anything about it. Really? That's fascinating. You believe that? I don't believe this woman as far as I could throw her, and it ain't far. Check this out.
Has the White House been told whether or not Attorney General Garland signed off on the search warrant himself?
We learned about this. The president learned about this just like you all did through the public reports. And we learned about this just like the American people did.
So you don't know whether or not Garland signed off on it?
I don't have anything more to share. So like I said, we did not know about this, and we have not been briefed on this. We learned about this just like the public, just as you all were reporting it through the public.
Actually, I stand corrected. Justin's right. Justin's very, very good. Karine Jean-Pierre he's right, does not know anything about anything. She is probably the one person, she doesn't know. So when she says she doesn't know, you are correct, Justin. I stand corrected. Biden, however, there's no doubt Joe Biden knew about this. If this was on the up and up and just black and white, standard protocol CYA in case we got to use force when we engage the president, then why is everyone so shady? Do you ever ask yourself this? Or do you just immediately reply? Try the Bongino rule. It'll help you out, I promise. Did you notice I took a long time to reply yesterday on Twitter? Why do you think that is? Because I think about shit beforehand. Try it sometime. Here's the FBI director, Christopher Wray. They're so proud of this black and white SOP operation that Christopher Wray here can't even give a straight answer. Take a look.
Lastly, did you sign off on the Mar-a-Lago raid?
Well, first off, it was not a raid. It was an execution of a search warrant.
Did you sign off on the execution of the search warrant?
May I finish? Second, I don't sign off on individual search warrants in that case or in any other.
Did Attorney General Merrick Garland sign off to your awareness?
I can't speak to the Attorney General.
Was there dissent at senior levels of the FBI about the conducting of the search warrant?
I can't speak to internal discussions among the FBI or among the FBI and the Department of Justice.
Even though it's been reported in the Washington Post.
There are lots of things reported in the media.
I know, leaked from your agency. Leaked from your agency.
Yeah.
Frequently it's reported in the Washington Post.
It may or may not be accurate.
It may or may not be accurate. With that, I yield.
Folks, you see how these people talk to you? Christopher Wray, Derek Farland, Karine Jean-Pierre, Joe Biden. They talk to you as if you were their subjects. They don't need to share any information. We'll just raid the president's house. I have no obligation to tell you any ongoing investigation. These people are full of shit, and they rely on deep state goofballs who fall for every little carrot in front of them. Oh, it's just an ops plan. This is not about an ops plan. Don't be a dumbass. It's about a failure of sanity in a constitutional republic, a failure of sanity to disrupt clearly a tyrannical, unnecessary, unprecedented act, and how dumbasses on our side, unless they need to watch the Yuri Bezmenov video. Are they useful idiots too? Man, wake up. Follow people like Julie. Disregard all this other crap. And anyone who tells you, oh, I'm a lawyer, I know better, has no experience in tactics, has no experience in protocol, has no experience in deconfliction. I want to one last thing here about this. Deconfliction, preventing blue-on-blue incidents. Folks, it's not black and white. There isn't a Secret Service manual on how to deconflict every situation. You're expected to use your professional discretion. You know why they put an agent at every magnetometer checkpoint? Why? You're going in to see Joe Biden. You go to the magnetometer. You put your hands up. Why is there an agent there? Because he's supervising it. Because once in a while, sometimes you need some professional discretion. Oh, look, a guy's walking in with what looks like a pipe that could be used as a weapon. And then you find out that his son's in a wheelchair and the pipe is part of the wheelchair. The agent's there and goes, you know what? Let him in. Oh, but that's the rules. That's SOP. No, he's there because he's got a brain. No one with a brain interrupted this thing at all. I put on Twitter and Truth last night when I did the START summit for Barack Obama and Medvedev when they were signing the START treaty over in the Czech Republic. The Russians were there. We were signing the START treaty with them. The Russians wanted to put a bunch of snipers here and there, wanted to hold their weapons instead of decking them. Is there a big manual section on that? No. I had to make some executive decisions. The Russians had to too, so we agreed. You're telling me I did more deconfliction with the freaking Russians than the FBI did at Mar-a-Lago? Oh, just SOP. You dumbasses. So tired of stupid, man. A couple other things happened yesterday. Did you see this? I mean, it's hard to move on from this because I'm obsessed with this topic. How many dumb people in our movement? Biden, the oatmeal god, is getting even worse. He signed some. What's that? Yeah, speaking of dumb people, that's actually a perfect segue. Biden signed some bill yesterday. Ladies and gentlemen, I need a Biden translator here because I have no idea what he freaking said yesterday. Did you hear this? Here, check this out.
Our plan is working. Let me close with this. After I signed the PAC Act into law, I handed the pen that I signed it with as a tradition of the person most responsible for the legislation.
Justin, do you know what he just said? He signed the Paca-Dadilac Act, the Alpaca Cadillac Act. He's got alpacas and cattle. What is he even? Does anybody know what this guy's talking about? He signed the Alpaca Cadillac Act on the. Did you see the other day at the NAACP as well? If you heard this yesterday on the radio show, it's worth it. Jim put this together, and then Guy and Justin put some visuals to it. Did you hear him talking about the other day, the erectionists at the thing? What the hell are the erectionists? Is this guy watching porn on Twitter or something? Who are the erectionists? Folks, Anita, you saw the chat. Anita's like the queen of the chat. The chat this morning, it was kind of hilarious if you were there. You know what I mean? What are the erectionists? Is this a Bob Dole Viagra ad? Did I miss something? He was trying to talk about, I guess, insurrectionists. And he keeps, what is with the Democrats and erectionists? They have some fascination with male genitalia. Jim was kind enough to put this together. Democrats and their fascination with erections and erections. It's the weirdest thing. Check this out.
Democrats seem to have only one thing on their mind.
Senators will have to decide if they believe Donald John Trump incited the erection.
They said he participated in an erection.
Somehow shield Donald Trump's culpability into inciting an erection.
Let's talk about the fact that President Trump incited an erection.
And that thing is Donald Trump.
The Democrats keep talking about how I incited an erection. That's what they keep saying. They keep talking about it. And they're not talking about Trump Tower. I can tell you that. I think it's because they love me. I go on their networks, their ratings go up.
That's why they need DeMalice. Here's what it did for one Democrat who had a really embarrassing incident because he ignored the warning signs.
I'm trying to be a better person. I'm in therapy, trying to do some public service, working in a food bank, which I certainly am going to continue to do, working on a new book about the Oklahoma City bombing.
DeMalice.
He calls the erectionists who stormed Capitol Hill patriots.
To stop you from getting royally f***ed by Democrats.
I'm going to be your president again. We're inciting erections everywhere. We're inciting them everywhere, believe me.
Use as directed.
This is not a gavel. Thank you, Sean Farish, for that, too. I don't know if you're in the chat today, but we're inciting erections everywhere. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, fellas, for putting that together. I like the little background, too. You like my little dance in there? Holy Moses. All right, back to the serious stuff. So the Twinkies trial happened yesterday, too. Twinkies, Michael Cohen. They're wrapping that thing up. Thankfully, this thing will be over soon. I say thankfully, but the truth is, this has been, although it sucks for Donald Trump sitting in front of this goofball judge in this freezing cold courtroom, and them trying to obviously do these police state gulag tactics on him. Folks, I think it's fairly obvious that this case has been the greatest gift to Donald Trump ever. I mean, just marry up the indictments, the raids, the special operation plans and the SOP plans, whatever the hell, just marry that up with Donald Trump's rise in the polls, and you'll see that he can probably thank Twinkies and Fani Willis, who, it's great. By the way, a lot of people are complaining she won her election last night, or erection for the Democrats' case. She won her election last night for the primary, which means she'll win because it's, they're not going to vote for a Republican. This is great. Don't be upset about it. These people are a gift to Donald Trump because there are no more sharks to jump. All sharks have been jumped. Here's an MSNBC piece that's so patently ridiculous. Again, it shows you normal people see right through this. How Michael Cohen's past lies make him a more credible witness. Again, only an idiot would print a headline like this. But again, it's MSNBC. You can't expect any different, folks. It's just insanity. The level of stupid here is just insane. You should be grateful Fani Willis and Twinkies are where they are right now. They have been a gift to Donald Trump and a potential second presidency. All right, on to some very serious stuff here. Folks, the international media is horrendous, too. It's not just MSNBC in here. Ever since we've had this outbreak of violence in the Middle East, when, by the way, there was a ceasefire October 6th, and most people won't tell you that. It was violated by, in fact, Hamas as they decided to go and kill a bunch of Israelis and Jews. So they actually broke the ceasefire. Now, there's such an eagerness here everywhere for people not to follow the Bongino rule and jump on the latest narrative du jour that when, you probably saw the story the other day, when the Iranian president and a number of high-level officials were killed in a helicopter crash, the first story out there immediately, without applying the Bongino rule, was what? No, the Israelis did it. How to be the Israelis? It may have been. It may not. We may have done it. An Iranian insider may have done it. We don't know. The point is, there were so many people so eager to blame the Jews for everything that this actually aired on a television station in Gaza. This is not a joke. Someone put out this thing on the internet. It just was meant to bait idiots in. That a secret Jewish agent, like the Matthew born of Israel. His name, folks, was Eli Copter. Now, a non-moron would figure out right away, Eli Copter. helicopter. Oh, I'm being played like a moron. Not these idiots. This actually aired on Gaza television. Watch this. Check this out. The Telegram claims the helicopter pilot is a Mossad agent. And they even give his name. Helicopter! Is this true? Is this true or not? It's all part of the rumors that are circulating. But what seems to be is that the authorities have not yet. Get with these idiots. Now, granted, if someone would have pulled the old school, like, hey, first name Haywood, last name Jablomi, that's kind of hard. Like, you got to say that fast to think it through. It's like when you call someone a master debater. Like, you got to be careful you say these words different, you know? Helicopter? You didn't think that through? Folks, don't be surprised if this was an inside job. The Wall Street Journal, you guys had the piece up yesterday. There is a big conflict right now within Iran about who should be the next to take the role of the presidency, who should be, the lead spiritual leader of Iran. There's a huge conflict right now. Don't be so convinced this wasn't an inside job. Don't jump the gun on any of this stuff. There's so many people out there with agendas. It's freaking ridiculous. So everybody, just take a breather on this. I promise you'll be better off for it. You know how that piece, I guess, right? All right, we're moving on. The Biden presidency, of course, is collapsing by the day. You may have saw today he wanted to pay off more student loans, of course, because he's trying to buy off the presidency. Also yesterday, I don't know if you missed this one, this guy is a clear and present danger, folks, with a exploding situation in the Middle East and Russia. I want you to understand that this guy is putting the United States in an increasingly perilous situation. DEI in the military, focusing on butter over guns. We're in real trouble with this guy. And our strategic oil reserve, which is down to near historic lows, this idiot, because he can't control inflation and keeps feeding the fuels of inflation by spending more money, now wants to release 1 million more barrels of gasoline from the Northeast reserves in a bid to lower prices at the pump. Now, what he could do to lower prices at the pump is actually lowering prices at the pump by incentivizing production of gasoline, but he can't do that because he's a dumbass, kid-sniffing, political opponent, FBI gun raiding, woman groping, plagiarizing, sociopathic lying, fake civil rights activist loser, and he can't do anything else. He's also engaged. So this happened to me the other day. Speaks again to where we are dealing with these liberal morons. I don't know if I told you this story. Hold on, let me drink water. I'm in a mood today. By the way, I'll be on Patrick Bet-David's show tomorrow, and I'll be doing my show from his studio. And we'll be a podcast tomorrow, so definitely be here at 11 o'clock. It's going to look a little different in the background, so don't sweat it. Nothing happened, I promise you. Let me tell you a little quick story, okay? I'm in my house the other day, and as these guys can tell you, for some reason, the air conditioning here is always breaking. It's not a cheap unit either. I mean, the house isn't huge, but it's big enough that we need two, okay? They're always breaking. They're breaking like every 2 months or so. They clog, got to snake it. So I see the AC guy outside, and it's Florida, folks. So it's like, what do you think it is today, guys? About 150? So it's hot, right? I mean, Evita's from Wisconsin. She's like, to Evita's feels like 1,000 degrees. Evita's like in the summer, it's like 70. That's like Christmas in Florida. And that's cold. It's like 80 on Christmas. So Evita's like, they don't even know how to do this with the heat. But poor Evita's, and then I keep it in here like minus 52 because I like the cold weather. So the AC is always breaking. So I say to the guy, why is this thing always breaking? He goes, man, let me tell you something. He goes, these new environmental rules, they got to use less copper in the coils, so it develops a lot of sludge, and these things clog up more. He's like, man, I wish we had air conditioners like we built them back in the 80s. I'm like, holy shit, bro. You're like the 10th appliance guy to tell me that. The dishwasher guy told me the same thing. He's like, these water rules, they don't clean the dishes anymore. I pulled my dishes out of the thing the other day. I'm like, I'm drinking a cup of coffee, and it tastes like soap. Why? Because the freaking thing doesn't. Again, this isn't like a low-end dishwasher. Ladies and gentlemen, nothing works anymore. Not dishwashers. Oh, the washing machine. When the washing machine breaks, guy comes in, he goes, I have my washing machine from like 1995. I'm not getting rid of it. It was before all these stupid environmental rules. You think in advancing society, things would be getting better, not worse. Not with us, because the Democrats have a war on our livelihood, a war on appliances, a war on gas prices, a war on humankind, as we discussed yesterday. So they put together this segment for us because it's important because you're voting on this stuff coming up. Wall Street Journal, the lifespan of large appliances is shrinking. Folks, these things used to last forever. Guy, you're probably the oldest one here. I don't even think you remember this. Anyone in the chat remember air conditioning units and what in your windows? These things would sit outside in the Florida sun for 22 years and still pump cold air. We can't get a freaking AC to work for 2 months now. You know what I'm talking about? Those things, man, you used to take those from apartment to apartment. They'd be all dinged up. You throw it in the back of your trunk. Sucker worked for 20 years, no more. Home serve. They don't build them like they used to. Are older appliances better than new ones? Yes, they are. They are. Here's the Washington Post now. That has to acknowledge even like water heaters don't work. Why you all should embrace using cold water. Brothers and sisters, I'm all about the cold plunge and cold showers. But let me tell you something. This is not a cope, okay? Maybe just fix the boilers, hot water heaters so they actually work. You can read all these articles today. Fox News. Biden administration unveils a string of eco-regulations and latest appliance crackdown targeting refrigerators and freezers too. Nothing works anymore, brothers and sisters. Nothing. And it is a war on modern life. Evita, you are correct. Because we're like a virus. That's what they think. They want to make us go away. I played for you yesterday the net zero thing. The faster they can make us go away, the better, man. They want us gone. All right, a couple more things I want to get to, including this. I woke up this morning, and I go to Fake Book, and I'm going to the email feedback for the show. I try to read a lot of it. I can't get to all of it. I have never gotten so much feedback about a throwaway segment. Throwaway mean was the end of the show. It was just kind of something I cared about. Yesterday, I talked about all the miracle flights, the people who show up to the plane in wheelchairs and then magically don't need the wheelchair when they get off the plane because they don't want to wait, and they call them miracle flights. Holy Moses. I'm not saying names, obviously. Pilots were emailing me. They were like, we can't even take off anymore. You got 30 people on the ground who aren't injured in wheelchairs. They can't find enough people to roll them down onto the plane. People were furious. I did not get one single person who was in support of this stuff. We got to clean up the wheelchair situation. If you're hurt, you're handicapped, yes. Veterans, get on that plane first. If you're not, stop scamming. I'm telling you, based on feedback yesterday, people hate it. You're going to start getting looks in airports if they see you get out of a wheelchair, pick up your 80-pound suitcase, and lift it into the overhead with no problem. I'm just telling you, people are upset about it. On a hilarious note, this happened. Cue up this CNN clip for me. I swear to you, when I saw this, I thought it was a joke. This is real. So this guy who hosts a podcast, Cameron, is an entertainment guy. I never heard of him. I'm not playing it. He's a rapper. Okay, I don't know who he is, but he doesn't know who I am either. It doesn't mean he's not famous or whatever. But hat tip to this guy. He's freaking hilarious. He goes on. I thought this was fake. I really thought it was AI. He goes on CNN about this Puff Daddy, P. Diddy situation, which has gotten really ugly. And he can't figure out like why he's there or who booked him there. And here's the end of the interview. This is one of the greatest things you will ever see on television. Check this out.
What about the industry in general? I mean, so many people have pointed out that Diddy couldn't get away with this stuff if there weren't a lot of people protecting him. Do you think that's the case?
Who the talent agent for this joint? Like, you think I'll be sitting around watching what Diddy do and all this? I didn't know this was a Diddy joint that y'all invited me to. Yo, who booked me for this joint?
All right.
Wow, and I'll be sitting around watching Diddy and all that. Yeah,
thanks.
Man, come on, man.
Thanks for joining us. Thank you for your time tonight.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. You enjoy.
Do me a favor. I'm asking you as a friend. I didn't want to play the whole thing. There's a part in the middle of that too. He takes like a sip of some energy drink and he's like, I got to go get me some cheeks after this. Maybe he should talk to Joe Biden about the erectionist. I don't know if it's like a similar thing to do, like, erectionist stuff to drink. I don't know. You should watch it. It's freaking hilarious. Evita said it right. He gave CNN all the respect they deserve. Also, I told you I'd follow the elections for you yesterday. There were a lot of them and some really important stuff. Folks, have we reached a point where it's bad enough? Where things have gotten so bad in some of these far left cities that far left folks start to consider Republican candidates? No, I don't think in a universal way, but it's happening. So even Political Playbook had to acknowledge this morning, Portland, Portland, Oregon, they had a really, really far left, like a Soros-style prosecutor there. The guy's name was Mike Schmidt in Portland. Folks, you're not going to find a bluer area. The guy's losing to a Republican turned independent, Nathan Vasquez, by 12 points. So I'm going to say to you again, is it bad enough yet? Probably not. Is it getting there that minds are starting to change? Obviously. Are these people going to vote for Donald Trump in Portland? No. But things are happening. The thing about liberalism is everything it touches, it destroys. All right, I want to end where I started. Yeah, we will be back here tomorrow. But folks, I'm really serious about this. We have a real problem within our movement. The left doesn't have it as much as we do. They think the left understands bigger priorities. This raid at Donald Trump's compound, the fact that it even happened, and that guns were present in a federally protected compound, I don't care who they were, when they wouldn't in any other situation with a Secret Service protectee, is an obscenity. And anybody telling you this is just SOP, we should respect the paperwork, oh, the process was followed, has no idea what they're talking about, because there is no process to follow, because this has never happened before. And smart, professionally minded people who love the Republic would have thought this through in advance, and they didn't. Do not give them a legal out. Don't follow these Wikipedia lawyers. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. They've never done anything like this. And if what they were saying is true and there's no gray area here, then please explain to me how this case is even in court to begin with when Donald Trump has the power to declassify. Why is he in court then for having documents he said he declassified? Because they're saying it's a gray area, dipshits. I love how these lawyers tell you there's no gray area, arguing a case that's all gray area. Think for yourself. I'm not saying I'm right on everything, but I'm sure as hell I'm positive I'm right on this. This is an abomination. See you back here tomorrow, 11 a.m. Again, background will look a little different. It's going to be a lot of fun, though. First interview we've done since last week with Megyn Kelly. Follow us on Rumble, rumble.com/Bongino. Download the Rumble app. And thank you so much for exploding our show on Spotify. If you haven't followed us there, we really appreciate it. I was stunned to learn we had like a top 10 show yesterday or something on Spotify, that's pretty cool. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. Follow us on Apple and Spotify too. Thanks a lot. See you back here tomorrow.
You just heard The Dan Bongino Show.